We begin tonight with a story that may be as surprising to you as it is disturbing. For years, we've told you about Syrians fleeing war, displaced in their own country, trying to get to other shores. Tonight, there are new images of those who are trapped, unable to get out. They're starving and dying, their city besieged by pro-government forces. Madaya is just 25 kilometers from Damascus, a stone's throw from Lebanon. But Doctors Without Borders describes it as effectively an open-air prison for up to 42,000 people, including infants and the elderly. And there are other places like it. In fact, the UN estimates there are 400,000 people trapped in 15 locations with no food. The images are difficult to see, but important to show. Here's Catherine Cullen.
If you wondered why so many would take risks like this to flee, consider the reports of starvation in the town of Madaya. One person called it dying in slow motion. Even for tiny lives that have just begun. It's one of several communities blocked in by fighters. Late last month, ambulances and buses were allowed to remove some most in need. Winter is now compounding Syria's woes. There are reports of people searching for leaves and grass to eat, even resorting to dirt. This little boy smiles, even while he starves, being asked about what he wants to eat. Because of the conflict, it's hard to verify individual stories and images, but the United Nations says it has credible reports of starvation in the town, including deaths. Elsewhere in the country, there have been desperate pleas to help Madaya. This sign calls on the Pope and the United Nations to act. They say they accept that adults may die, but say, please, save Madaya's children who are starving to death. Allahu Akbar. It is one more terrible way to die for those caught in a civil war that has raged on for nearly 5 years. The United Nations announced today it has been granted permission to deliver aid to Madaya, as well as other towns in need.
The UN now welcomes today's approval from the government of Syria to have access to Madaya, Fo and Kefraya, and we're preparing to deliver humanitarian assistance in the coming days.
Aid groups say Madaya is an extreme example, but many others in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon are suffering.
There are millions of children and families who, while certainly not as severe as the case in Madaya, are suffering from, lack of access to food, lack of access to education. So there's a lot of work to be done in the region broadly.
Now, as for Madaya, while help may be coming, it is going to take time. One UN official said today that even if the Assad regime does comply, it will still take at least 3 days to get aid in. And that's a best case scenario. Peter?
All right, Catherine, thank you.